Well, hey there, East Main Baptist Church. Thank you for joining me for another real short talk with Ryan. I hope you're having just a fantastic day whenever you are watching this. We're going to be in Psalm 55 today, if you want to find some time to read that for yourself today. And we're asking the question, do you ever feel overwhelmed? I'm going to go ahead and raise my hand. If you know anything about what's going on in my life lately, I feel very overwhelmed. There's just a lot going on. It's been very busy. There's been a lot to do. I got married. That just adds a whole nother layer of a lot to do. Planning for the wedding, getting through the wedding, trying to figure out a new life, and it feels overwhelming at times. But it's not just the good things that can feel overwhelming, because before you hear me, getting married is a very good thing, but it is still overwhelming. But it's also bad things overwhelm us at times. Illnesses, just troubles at work, difficult decisions that are coming up. Just things overwhelm. Just life just comes and it keeps on coming. How can we respond? What can we do when things feel overwhelming? One, I want you to know that you are not alone in feeling overwhelmed. A lot of times when we feel overwhelmed, we can go, well, I'm the only one that's ever felt like this. I'm the only one that's ever had to balance and juggle all of these different things. You are not alone. Look at Psalm 55, verse 4, to see how David describes his situation. He says, "My heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death have fallen upon me. Fear and trembling come upon me, and horror overwhelms me. And I say, oh, that I had wings like a dove, I would fly away and be at rest. Yes, I would wander far away. I would lodge in the wilderness. I would hurry to find a shelter from the raging wind and tempest." Does life sometimes feel like a raging wind and a tempest? It just keeps on coming. You're not alone. I bet you some of you have kind of said some of these things. Fear and trembling come upon you. There's just so much going on. Life can be so heavy sometimes. So what do we do? How do we respond in these moments? Well, how does he respond? Verse 1, "Give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not yourself from my plea for mercy. Attend to me and answer me. I am restless in my complaint and moan." Right? He calls out to God. We have to make God our first call when we are in times of trouble. We've got to call out to him first. We don't call our parents. We don't call our spouse. We don't call our friends. God has got to be our first call when we feel overwhelmed. It's got to be our first call and our second call and our third call. It is so important that we talk to him. Talk to the one that has actual power to give us peace in the midst the chaos of this life. Verse 16, he says, "But I call to God, and the Lord will save me. Evening and morning and noon." 3 times a day, right? He's calling out to God. "Lord, save me. Lord, be with me. I utter my complaint and moan, and he hears my voice." He hears you. When you call out to him in the midst of the chaos, he hears you and he cares. "He redeems my soul in safety from the battle that I wage. For many are arrayed against me. God will give ear and he will humble them. He who is enthroned from of old." God hears and he cares, and yet we don't call out to him like we should. So that is my encouragement for you. When you feel overwhelmed, call out to God. Cast your cares and concerns upon him. He hears them. He cares about them. He desires to give you peace amidst the chaos of this life, no matter where the trouble comes from. David's trouble in this particular case was coming from a close friend, had betrayed him. God still cares. God still wants to hear, no matter what your trouble is. Look at verse 22. "Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved." Cast your burdens on the Lord, and he will sustain you. When you feel overwhelmed, I know you do. We all feel it. But where do we turn? Do we turn to, hey, how can I fix this? Or say, "Lord, sustain me. Lord, be with me." Because that's only one of those is really going to help you. And it's not, how can I fix this? It's, how can I lean into my trust of the Lord in this moment? Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Until then, go and glorify his name.